Hello, I'm attorney Todd Leneve. Welcome to West Virginia Gun Law. Today is part 4 in a series of a conversation that I had with my good friend Josh Fowler, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and MMA coach from Morgantown, West Virginia. And we've covered a number of topics already in previous videos. Today we want to take a look at the concepts of assault and battery, which are things that I think are often misunderstood and confused by people in the course of everyday conversation. So we shed a little bit of light on the legality of those terms, how they apply, the felony versus the misdemeanor options that are available for an officer to charge you with, and we take a look as well at Josh's interpretation of how he defines those in terms of his teaching, and I think you'll enjoy this conversation. If you have questions on it, of course, leave those in the comments section below, and we'll get right into the video at this point, so stick around.
So one of the other things, defining, understanding where the violence comes from and the scenario that you're in. I tend to use specific language for fight versus assault. In a fight, generally it's driven by ego and both participants volunteer. So you've got, that's somebody, one or both have probably consumed some alcohol, and there might be females around, and something happens, and it just turns into like the primal thing, right? It's just one guy bumps the other one, neither wants to back down, so they have non-verbally agreed to this. Right. It's a fight.
One of my favorite movies, Couples Retreat, where the yoga instructor says, yes, proud peacock.
You're right.
Yeah, you get a couple of proud peacocks going.
Yeah.
And suddenly the ego takes over.
Yes. So, and between that and then assault is where one person does not volunteer for the engagement, where it's a one-sided thing. And so, that's how I kind of tend to define these. So that way we know, if I'm in a cage fight, it's a fight. It's not a cage assault. There's a referee. Right. The referee's there to make sure things don't go too far. Right. In an assault, it usually immediately goes too far.
Sure.
Yeah. And so using those definitions kind of helps clarify some things.
And obviously, we get into some legal terminology there that you're sort of dancing around the edge of. And when we're talking about that, we can talk about really these specific legal terms and how you weave those in and out of your instruction. But when we talk about assault, we have 2 levels of assault. We have a felony assault and we've got a misdemeanor level of assault. So kind of breaking it down, we're talking first about the misdemeanor level of assault.
Cool.
What we're saying there is not a strict legal definition, but assault in West Virginia is generally considered to be any act or attempt at engaging in violence against another person, or any act that places another person in threat of some immediate harm. But there's no actual contact in the misdemeanor context of assault.
Gotcha.
I've simply done something that makes you think, oh, it's about to happen. But maybe I take a swing and I miss because I'm too drunk or I'm too unskilled. Well, that's an assault because I didn't actually touch you, but it placed you in fear that I could have made contact. Okay, so that's assault at the misdemeanor level. Then we have battery at the misdemeanor level, and battery is defined generally as any touching between 2 people of an unprovoked, non-consensual, insulting, or provoking manner. So if I walk up to you and we're just sitting here, you're standing on the street and I walk up and, hey man, that's a battery.
Okay.
Because that's an insulting or provoking thing to shove somebody.
To give them
put
a
your
shove.
hands
Okay.
on.
Okay. Yeah.
So
poke them in the chest.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's battery. Now, we often think, battery. That's beating the crap out of someone. No, it's literally a provoking or insulting contact.
Physical contact.
So that's at the misdemeanor level of those two offenses. But then we also have the felony level of assault. And that's where we get into a couple of different classes. You've got malicious assault and unlawful assault. And so, when we're talking about those, interestingly enough, the way the law defines it is malicious and unlawful assault, the two felony level versions of the offense, actually involve that physical contact, that violence, not just a threat of it. Why we don't distinguish it differently, I don't know, but that's the way the law is here. And so it's important to understand when we're talking felony level assault, it's either malicious, meaning it was done with malice, with an intent to disable, disfigure, maim, cause severe bodily harm. That's the malicious assault. Unlawful assault is doing those things but without malicious intent. I intended to get in a fight, but I never intended to cause this guy an injury that left him paralyzed or rendered him without one eye or whatever the case might be. So that's unlawful assault. It's still much greater than a misdemeanor battery because of the violence of the encounter
And the damage you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it wasn't done with that malicious intent from the outset. Man, I intend to cause harm to this person, and I intend to cause really bad harm to this person.
Yeah.
That's when we're talking malice. Using a weapon, a gun, a knife, a bat, some improvised weapon, picking up one of the stools from here in the coffee shop. Knowing that when you whack somebody with a really heavy steel and wood stool, it's going to be just as effective as hitting them in the face with a baseball bat or a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
So
So right on. So having those definitions in your pocket. I mean, when we were looking these up, and I noticed one line in there that it said, it's like all these things, intent to do this, intent to do that, comma, unless otherwise defined.
Yeah.
That's where the self-defense stuff comes in.
Yeah.
That's where we do have, West Virginia does have some decent self-defense laws.